All right. Time for another Joshcast. Oh, man. I was just listening to the opening of Mark Maron's podcast, and he's in a mood. Not feeling a lot of optimism there, and I cannot blame that man. I am not feeling a lot of optimism either for what's happening to the world right now. And maybe it was always this bad. It was just that it didn't affect me directly until the pandemic. And it was something I could ignore while distracting myself with the minor domestic issues of the day. But now it's right up in my face, and maybe, I don't know, ultimately this is a good thing. Maybe it's good that it's right up in all of our faces. Maybe it's forcing us to really look at who we are. It's forcing us to look at who we are. Oh my God, that woman is hot. A really hot woman's walking by. I think she was eating ice cream or something. I don't know. But she was hot, and she had a boyfriend, and he was also hot. You know what? I didn't even get a look at a boyfriend, but I assumed that he was also hot. Because that is the world that we live in today. I was about to make this political point, and then my penis just took over and said, no, take a look at that. And then I said to my penis, you can look, but nothing is going to come of it. And I did not mean to pun there. I did not mean to pun there. But that really, yeah. Sex would be nice. Maybe. I think, though, that the reality of it, of a relationship that's not a healthy relationship, I don't want that. I was explaining this to my mother. I was screaming this at the top of my lungs to my mother because she's going deaf. So every phone conversation I have with my mother, I feel like I'm Lewis Black, just in having a conversation. It would be nice if she got earphones. It would save my vocal cords. Not earphones. What do I mean? Hearing aids. There you go. I'm stopped at this red light. There's always the red light that I always stop at certain red lights. It doesn't matter when I'm hitting it, I'm always stopping at the red light. Inevitably. Nothing I can do about that. I've never gone through this light without it stopping. I guess that means it prefers the other direction of traffic. And you know what? I take offense to that. I have a right to go through this light too. I should occasionally be able to just go through it as a green light. Life is not fair. I'll tell you what. Life is not fair. That's what everybody keeps telling me. Life is not fair. You know life is not fair, right? And here's my message to anyone who says to anyone else, life is not fair. We know. We don't need you to remind us of that. We need empathy, not a clear assessment of what is actually happening that we already know. It's like saying, I'm thirsty, and then your response is, water quenches thirst. Yes, I know that. I know that. I'm aware of that. The body needs water. Yes, I know the body needs water. I know this. But I'm in the desert right now, and I don't have that. That's not helping me. What you're saying is not helping me. I need a way out of the desert. Do you have a way out of the desert? Then shut up. I'm really hungry right now. Food helps you move. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Oh, God, this is just depressing. Driving by all these businesses that are closed. Very depressing. Beyond depressing. North Hollywood wasn't looking that great before this. And now, North Hollywood looks like the dystopic setting in a Sylvester Stallone science fiction movie in the 90s. I'm gonna have to rename NoHo. NoHo! That's corny. That's just not right. NoHo, of course, being North Hollywood. That lady is not as attractive as the other lady I saw. Why am I saying that out loud into a podcast? That's just mean. Is that what you're doing, Josh? You're judging people by their appearance? Yes, that is what I'm doing. Oh, all right, well. As long as you're doing what you're doing, I suppose. I'll tell you what's really depressing are all these bus posters that they put up for things at the bus stop, for things that are not happening. This Wonder Woman 1984 poster, it almost feels like when I see those old posters that it's an alternate reality where everything was fine, and somehow I got for a moment sucked into a different universe where Wonder Woman 1984 came out in June like it was supposed to, and there was no problem. That is almost what it feels like. But this is truly madness. I watched the first episode of Star Trek Discovery. It was fun. One character, this takes place now 900 years in the future, so they've jumped beyond any other Star Trek series. And there was a character, and they were brushing their teeth, and the way that they were, there was a laser that just cleaned their teeth for them. No toothbrush needed. And I'm sitting there thinking, that took 900 years? Because they've been traveling, at warp speed. They had replication systems that could just basically 3D print stuff out of thin air. It took them 900 years to go, oh, you know what? Let's just use a laser to clean the teeth. Can we do that now? You know what? Strike that. I wouldn't trust a laser toothbrush made in this world right now. I could see that going south. I could see a news report saying, another beheading today. Well, we sent out the recall notice. It's not our fault he doesn't check his email. Okay, so here's another topic of conversation that may be a bit, what's the word? Divisive. I just saw one of those three-wheeled motorcycles. And every time I see one of those, I get judgy. And I know I shouldn't get judgy. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 32, okay? I have an overactive bladder. I've only had one sexual partner. I shouldn't be judging anyone. And nevertheless, whenever I look at a three-wheeled motorcycle, whether the two wheels are in the back or the two wheels are in the front, my first thought is, come on. Get a motorcycle. If you're going to do this, do it right. What's the problem? Is it too much for you to lean? Is it too much for you to have a sense of balance? I hate to say this, but the guy on that three-wheeled motorcycle, frankly, it would have looked like it would have been too much for him to lean and have a sense of balance. It looks like he needed three wheels. Why are you mocking people, Josh? Why are you doing this? Why are you mocking other people? I'm saying I'm the one who is at fault here because I'm judging a three-wheeled motorcycle when actually it probably is a lot easier to operate than a regular motorcycle where you do have to balance. I guess what I'm trying to say is it doesn't look as cool to me as a two-wheeled motorcycle. It's just a really, really expensive tricycle. That's what it looks like to me. You know what it looks like to me? Frankly, there's a lameness factor. Here's how lame I think it is. If I am the one riding it, then that would make sense. Because I am a lame person. So if I was on it, people would go, yep, that fits. That's correct. He would be riding a giant man tricycle. And maybe the tides are turning. Maybe fashion is shifting, and maybe I am out of touch. But whenever I see that, I just think, okay, it's not a motorcycle. It's not a motorcycle. That's what I think. I don't care how loud your engine is. You're revving it. Have you seen James Bond in a tricycle fight or in a tricycle chase yet? No. I don't think James Bond would get on it. I think if James Bond had to choose between that and running, I think he would go with the running. Why do I have such strong feelings about a tricycle? And again, I'm not saying that I'm right about this. I'm not. I am not saying that at all. I am the one with the problem. I have a prejudice against three-wheeled bikes. And my grandchildren, 100 years from now, are going to go, Grandpa, first of all, how do we exist? Because you did not get around at all. So it's probably going to be more of a situation where I'm some kind of nanny for a rich family, maybe. And they're like, nanny, Grandpa, why did you used to make fun of people on tricycles when now that's become the predominant form of transportation? And the James Bond in the current incarnation rides one all the time. And I will say I was old and foolish. Even then, I was old and foolish. Now I'm really, really old and really, really foolish. But I'm still not changing my opinion. Yeah, she's kind of hot. What is wrong with me today? My God. I'm this judgmental male chauvinist pig, just rating women and making fun of tricycles. And no one has asked my opinion. And if I'm going to go on, if I'm going to talk about being bisexual, by the way, where's my opinion of men? What about that guy right over there? Not at all attracted to him. But he looks nice. He looks like he'd change my light bulb if I ask. Not attracted to him. Not attracted to her. Maybe that Latino guy. Maybe. I'd have to date. We'd have to go out for dinner first. What about that guy? Well, that guy's fit. I like that. He can pick me up and carry me when the fires come. I used to think we'd be safe from the fires where I'm at, but now I'm reading that there are these fire winds that are 100 miles an hour that may go beyond the forest, I guess. Okay, there's a crazy guy waving. Not feeling it. What's my type, you ask? Well, I think the first thing is you don't have a three-wheeled motorcycle. That's the number one thing. Man, I'm going off on this tricycle. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not more with it. I'm sorry I'm not more open-minded, but they look ridiculous to me. It's a tricycle. It's an adult tricycle. And maybe what it is that I used to have a tricycle when I was 3, and then I had to learn how to ride a bike, and that was hard for me at first. And I finally achieved the goal of learning how to ride a bike, and it's like now I got to go back to the tricycle. It feels like a regression. Okay, driving by a pet store called Scales and Tails. Good name for a pet store. And I think its address is 1701. So not only does it have a good name for a pet store, its address is the number on the Starship Enterprise. How cool is that? The only thing that would be cooler is if somebody bought that space and it became a Star Trek paraphernalia store located at 1701 Burbank Boulevard. Wouldn't that be great? This isn't Burbank, this is Magnolia. Nice try. Should I be giving away the... Well, yes, I should, because if you need pets, or if you need, food for your gerbil, I guess you could go there. The question is, does your pet have to have either a scale or a tail? Because aren't there some pets that don't have tails or scales? What about a pet, I don't know, a wombat? No, I think they might have tails. I'm not familiar enough with the wombat biology to give you that information. Although I just learned on Family Guy that wombats do poop perfect cubes. And I trust Family Guy's research. I trust Family Guy over most news sources. Can I just say that I trust Family Guy over most news sources? 4 out of 5 people who talk like this trust Family Guy. Oh, there's one business that moved to North Hollywood. Probably because the rent there is, just give me a sock once a month. Not even 2 socks. I hate to say it, but North Hollywood is not looking good. North Hollywood looks the way I feel. That's where North Hollywood's at. Not pretty. North Hollywood looks like a man tricycle. That's how it's looking right now. I'm not letting this go, America. And maybe parts of England that may or may not listen to this. I am not letting this tricycle thing go. I can't get on board. Well, have you tried riding one of those tricycle things? I don't think they're called a tricycle, by the way. You know what? I'm calling them a tricycle. If I have to learn how to balance on a bike, then I am not going to accept this tricycle. I'm getting close to my destination. How would I like to wrap up the podcast this morning? How would I like to bring this podcast home? How am I going to bring her in for a landing? What's my closing thought? What is my closing thought? Ba-dun-dun-dun. Closing thought. Closing thought. Closing thought. Closing thought today.